Disconnected. Now, how many I's are there in disconnected? Yes, just one. All it takes is one. Now I want you guys to listen to that one voice. Yes. Let's dig deep here. Not that voice of your seatmate or your crush stuck inside your head, but that voice that is yours and yours alone. You can close your eyes if you want to, if you're comfy with that, and say hello. Insert your name and whatever term of endearment you want to call yourself at the moment. Hello, ganda. Hello, cutie. What's up? What's poppin'? And I wonder what your inner voice is actually saying. And when was the last time you actually really got to listen to it? Is it saying, I wonder what I'll have for dinner tonight? Or maybe I wonder what I'll be binge watching when I come home tonight? Well, okay, you can open your eyes now. For those who really got in the zone with me, welcome back. Hello, I hope that was a good little reset for you. I'm Janeena Chan. I'm a host, podcaster, content creator, cat mom, former Judanite, and now your new friend. Add me up in all my socials at Janeena Chan. Can't help it. It's almost like an instinct, especially when my line of work requires me to be connected at all times. Actually, quite ironic for me to be talking about being disconnected, but I do love a good pun, so here we are. Now, if earlier on you probably were thinking in your inner voice that you wanted some snacks, don't worry, there are more breaks later on. But my point here is that aside from the basic biological prompts that we get by listening to our inner voice, guiding our survival instincts, really getting to listen to it on a much deeper level can allow us to thrive. In a way, our inner voice acts as the notifications tab of our lives. And it's so much more crucial than any call or DM being slid into our inbox. And this can't be accessed through screens or face IDs, but only by drowning out all the unnecessary noise that separates and distracts us from knowing and being our truest selves. But as social beings, this can be quite tricky since we are biologically built to crave for a sense of belongingness and connection. Now, add social media to the mix and unnatural doses of it where we get to see everyone's highly image-based, best curated selves online and where we're also encouraged to do so as well. What do we get? We become subconsciously wired to crave for constant and instant external validation, gratification, and approval. Now that sucks because the only external validation that we need is for free parking. Well, kidding aside, if we're uncareful, it can really distort our sense of reality, what we truly value. It can really distort our sense of self and our self-worth. If all we hear and perpetuate is do it for the gram, this is what success looks like. Be more like her, look more like him, do it to be TikTok famous because it's fire at the moment, do it to look cool, do it to make the whole family look good, do it or you're missing out. But you never actually stopped to listen to what you really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. If everywhere we look, our subconscious minds are bombarded to simply keep up with appearances from what we constantly see and hear, then all the more we have to consciously train our minds to reshift our focus, direct it back to our truth, and remind ourselves not to be anchored by the weight of external validations. Now, let me tell you guys, I'm actually very familiar with this very stage growing up, participating in tons of school performances and singing competitions. It gave me life. Yes, it's on this very stage. And I'm very grateful to have discovered at a young age what I really enjoyed doing while balancing being an active full-time student and also while being a kiddie host and model thanks to early opportunities. And as a proud Bebo kid then and now, aside from really falling in love with the stage and performing, how can I not enjoy the support and the praise that I get from my teachers and mentors and family? Not to mention the shiny trophies and medals and awards as an extra incentive. Maybe we can blame it on the reward chemical dopamine in our brains and bodies, but I think that we can all agree that it feels good to achieve in any endeavor, be it academics, sports, or arts, and everything in between, right? But it feels even better when we get recognized for it. Come on, let's just admit it. No wonder we've got honor students, recognition days, award ceremonies, so that we can reap the fruits of our labor and fully bask in its glory. And so I did everything I could to keep performing and achieving to a point where I was kind of banned from participating in school performances to give more chances to others. Some of the teachers here would know. Now, fast forward to after graduating from university. I was still the same active kid, and now so much more excited to keep on doing what I love to do, but this time, full-time and in full gear. Yes, let's go, give it to me. I'm so ready. And while I grew my portfolio as a professional host, I also paid more attention to my socials. It's kind of evolved now to become kind of like your digital calling card or online portfolio too. Essentially, post more about what you do to be top of mind. Hashtag Janeena hosts for inquiries. Contact the momager. Hey mom, she's somewhere there. So that was the cycle. I'd keep working and posting from one project to another, post or it didn't happen. And what kept me going in this constant cycle was the combination of, yes, genuine, actual enjoyment. I really did, and I really do love it, but let's be real. Also mixed with a subconscious fear of losing work momentum and the image that I've carefully built as a constant achiever. I know, problematic in so many different levels. It almost felt like FOMO, but for both work and play, because work felt like my playground. And the fear was that if I didn't show up to achieve for a while, maybe took a longer break, maybe didn't post for a while, then I'd lose more chances of success. More visibility online and offline meant more opportunities to me, and being always on and acknowledged for it fulfilled that conditioned craving for constant external validations. Until, by force of nature, I had to stop everything all at once. Now, here comes the biggest redirection of my life via a very dramatic and quite literal nervous breakdown. It happened a few years ago when half of my face got paralyzed. I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy, or a facial nerve paralysis at the height of it all. It's usually caused by a low immune system, stress, overthinking, being too tired, and it can happen to anyone, no matter how young or how active you are. Long story short, I had to drop everything much as I could and focus on nothing but healing, especially with my face as a huge factor of my career. To say this whole thing was a humbling experience is truly an understatement. Each day that I couldn't properly hear, speak, blink, talk, smile, laugh, chew, or even frown right was such an agonizing and imprisoning feeling. My whole body also felt very weak. It was a test in all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It really was my lowest point. I felt like my very essence was stripped away from me, like I wasn't myself anymore. And from wanting so much more all at once, now all I wanted to do was to be able to do a full smile, simply have my basic energy back and just be me again. Able to really express my truest self without any inhibitions. I miss that girl who could just be goofy and silly, who just wanted to play and who could have fun even with the simplest things. Eventually, with acupunctures, medications, and deep faith that kept me going, I was almost back to normal in about 2 months. This was without a doubt a wake-up call. I was admittedly too hard on myself while being guilty of people pleasing and being caught up with external validations and pressures, guilty of associating my work and posts about my work with my worth, and feared failure. I'd be so fixated on the little details and the little errors that didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And I've fallen trapped to unhealthy doses of social media consumption and comparison that didn't support my mental health, both as a content creator and as a human being. It was a wake-up call to free myself from blindly going through the motions and external notions of what success should look like in the eyes of others. And it was finally high time to refresh my whys. Why was I doing this in the first place anyway? And make sure that they were rooted in the right reasons, in what I really value as who I truly am, not based on the world's noise, sense of achievement, or praise. Now, I could kind of relate this to one song in Mulan where the lyrics goes, please bring honor to us all. Please bring honor to us. Please bring honor to us. Please bring honor to us all. Ba Mulan. As an intermission number. But yes, I think we can all kind of relate to this growing up in our Filipino Chinese culture, where pleasing and honoring our ancestors and our elders plays such a huge factor with our sense of worth. And I think the reason it was repeated so many times is because we hear it from so many different people too, right? And now, as I do recall, achieving those medals and trophies and awards and recognitions, they weren't just a win for me, but also for my mom, my dad, my achi, my angkong, my ama, my guama, my guakong, my aunties, my uncles, the whole family tree, my teachers, my mentors, my friends, and the list goes on. And there's inherently nothing wrong with that. It's in fact amazing when we can in fact give honor to them all, right? But please, not at the expense of losing who you are. If Mulan didn't listen to her inner voice because it pleased the people around her and validated her at that time, then she wouldn't have known that she had it in her to be a true hero. When our decisions and directions are based on external factors, judgments, pressures, and the opinions of others, then we lose sight of our authentic selves and the many exciting possibilities that can really lead to our purpose and true meaning. And what you mean, what you stand for, can never be measured by any form or metric of likes and external validation. You can't put a number on human worth because the possibilities are abundantly infinite, and creating true meaning cannot be rushed. So why do I still want to do what I do? I'm still a host and content creator, and being likable is still very much essential with my line of work. But now I do what I do simply because I still love it. But now knowing that content isn't everything if you don't know where your real contentment lies, that accomplishments and praise don't define my full identity. Much as it's still challenging, I try my best not to fixate on the numbers anymore or about what other people who don't matter may say or think about me, because simply getting the chance to express my truest self and serve my purpose is in itself the reward and the achievement. Now, when you start realizing how liberating, fun, and freeing practicing this can be, you can now tap into your intuitions more and really uncover parts of yourself that you'd be surprised existed all this time. Like when I found out that I actually enjoyed experimenting in the kitchen and reading books with the extra quality time I've gotten to spend with myself at the height of the pandemic. And instead of FOMO, you can now get to experience JOMO, or the joy of missing out, knowing that you're not really missing out on what truly counts. When you get to play more, indulge yourself with curiosities more that aren't based on imposed societal pressures, that's where real living gets exciting, where creativity can really flow and where innovation can spark. And nothing is more inspiring and life-giving than this. So please, don't get lost in the standards, opinions, and expectations of others. Don't let the fear of missing out from what you see lead you to missing out on who you are and who you could be. And you can only find true security within your own standards when you've had that essential one-on-one meeting with your inner voice. What am I all about? What will I not tolerate? Who am I really all this time? And as you take all this to heart, know that you are so much more than your successes and your defeats. That failure is a natural part of the human experience. It's only a data point for improvement, so please don't take it too seriously. And that the successes of others, they don't take away from yours. There's so much room for everyone. And it's also not you versus you that I advocate for any longer too, but rather you for you. Always handle with care and compassion as you celebrate the opportunity and the gift of life itself. Disconnecting from the need of external validation may take time, practice, patience, and healthy boundaries, but it's going to be every bit worth it. So, in big and in little ways, never forget to turn on the most important notification of our lives, the call of our inner child's voice. Set it free. Let it play and let it be. And you'll invite not just more meaning, but also more indomitable joy that can never be stolen or fabricated IRL. Thank you.